Good day, Samad. So you're welcome to science class. We have discussed more on space physics from the solar um, system, um some of the various bodies in the space. So today, our topic is going to be description of eclipse, climate, and seasons. Description of eclipse, climate, and seasons. So, and I want you to know that at the end of this class, you must be able to explain solar system. Must be able to explain the solar system. So the solar eclipse, rather. The solar eclipse, I believe you can explain solar system, the planets, the number of planets we have in the space. You should be able to explain that, and other bodies that we have in the solar system. Like I said today, you should be able to explain solar eclipse. Solar eclipse also mean eclipse of the sun, and lunar eclipse, which also means eclipse of the moon. So by the end of this class, you should be able to explain solar eclipse, and you should be able to explain lunar eclipse. Okay, like I said, solar eclipse means eclipse of the sun, while lunar eclipse means eclipse of the moon. At the same time, you should be able to define climate. What is climate? You should be able to define it. Climate, you should be able to define climate. At the same time, we should be able to explain the cause of the seasons we have. The various seasons you have, winter, summer, autumn, spring. You should be able to explain the cause of that, of the seasons that we have at the end of this class. Listen, I said, number one, you should be able to explain solar eclipse. You should be able to explain lunar eclipse. And also you define climate and explain the cause of the various seasons that we have. All right. Now let's move on. Okay, now let's begin with, let's start with the eclipse of the sun. So what is the eclipse of the sun? Like I told you, eclipse of the sun also means solar eclipse. Okay, so eclipse always happen when we have the earth, the sun, and the moon. When all the three are aligned, that is when we have eclipse. So what is eclipse of the sun? So eclipse of the sun occurs when the moon moves between the sun and the earth, and all are exactly in a straight line. So look at this picture here. We have the sun here, and this is the moon. So this is the earth. So when the moon comes in between, you can see the moon here. When it comes in between the sun and the earth, then we have what is known as solar eclipse or eclipse of the sun. So it occurs when the moon comes in between the sun and the earth, and all of them are exactly in a straight line. So what happened here is that you can see that the moon is known as an opaque object. It's an opaque object because light cannot pass through it. Since light cannot pass through it, then the shadow of the moon here will be cast. The shadow will be cast on the earth. You can look at this place. This place we are seeing that the shadow of the earth and shadow of the moon here is cast on the earth. So those people that are living in this region, at the time we have this incident, when the moon comes in between the sun and the earth, those that are living in this region will experience what is known as darkness, total darkness. Then we have also region of partial darkness. Look at this region. Those that are living in this region will experience partial darkness. This region, partial darkness. But this region will be total darkness. You know, in light, we talk about three objects, three types of objects, or three kinds of objects. Okay, we have number one, transparent objects. Transparent objects are the objects that allow light to pass through them easily. So then we have translucent. Translucent object or bodies are the bodies that allow light to pass through them partially. The example of a translucent body is tinted glass or sunshade, sunglass. So those ones will only allow light to pass through them partially. But transparent, like glass and water, light will pass through them easily. Okay. Then the third kind of body is opaque. Opaque object does not allow light to pass through them. So because of that, the shadow will be cast on the other side. If you have the sun on one side, or the source of light on one side, then we have the opaque object in between. Then on the other side, we are going to have the shadow. Okay, the shadow. Now we have two types of shadow. Two types of shadow will be formed. We have umbra. Umbra is a region of total darkness. We are going to observe a region of total darkness, and also you are going to see another region of partial darkness. Region of partial darkness, like in this diagram now. Look at this place. This region of total darkness. Total darkness. Now look at this region. These two regions are regions of partial darkness. We call them penumbra. Penumbra is a region of partial darkness, while umbra is a region of total darkness. So, all right. Then, as you all know that the shadow of the moon being an opaque object. Moon is an opaque object. So the shadow will be cast on the earth. It's going to block the rays from the sun. It's going to block it from reaching some parts of the earth. And those that are living in that region, like this region now, we experience full darkness, or total darkness. It is called umbra, or full darkness. Then we have these regions which are penumbra, that is partial darkness. So eclipse of the sun occur when we have moon. It must be moon in between. You can see from the diagram, it is moon that comes in between. So the moon will now block the sun. It will block the sun, and if the ray of light cannot reach the earth, of course you should expect the shadow, and it's going to be total darkness. So that is eclipse of the sun. You must be able to explain eclipse of the sun anytime you are asked to explain it. It occurs when the moon comes in between the sun and the earth in such a way that all the three are now on a straight line. Okay. Now, the next one, let's move to the next one. So the next one is eclipse of the moon. Eclipse of the moon, or lunar eclipse. Okay. Now, in the eclipse of the moon, we have the earth in between the sun and the moon. So it occurs when the earth is between the sun and the moon. and the three are exactly in a straight line. Okay, look at the sun here. Sun does not move. I hope you know. Then we have the earth. Earth is revolving around the earth. Earth is moving around, Earth is moving around the sun, like this, moving around the sun. And also we have the moon. Moon is also orbiting the earth, is moving around the earth. So a time will come as the moon is orbiting the earth, is moving around the earth, then it will come into a time that the three of them will align like this. The earth will come in between. Now, we now have the moon in the shadow of the earth. Earth is an opaque object, you know. Earth is an opaque object. It doesn't allow light to pass through them. So the shadow of the earth will be cast. And the moon will remain in the shadow of the earth for a significant period of time. So we have this, you know, look at umbra, total darkness. You are not going to see the sun. You are going to see the sun, total darkness. So we have umbra, the moon. Moon here, I'm not going to see the moon. We have the umbra here. There is a partial darkness here. You're going to have a total partial darkness here. And we have total darkness here. Total darkness. So eclipse of the moon occurs when we have the sun and the moon, sun, earth, moon allied in such a way that the earth is in between the three. So it occurs when earth comes in between the sun and the moon. So that's when we have lunar eclipse or eclipse of the moon. So don't forget, eclipse of the moon or lunar eclipse. It's all right. Now let's move on. Like I said, you must be able to define eclipse. So what is eclipse? What is eclipse? So you should be able to explain that. It's a natural phenomenon that occurred when the sun, earth, and the moon are arranged in such a way that the three are on a straight line. So when we have the three allied in a straight line, then eclipse will happen. Eclipse will happen. Okay. Now, discuss eclipse of the sun and of the moon. I hope you should be able to do that. You should be able to do that. I want to believe that because I've explained that. You should be able to explain the eclipse of the sun and eclipse of the moon. Okay. Now, let's move on. Now, the next is climate. After that, we have explained eclipse. So we have explained it, we have described it, you have seen it in diagram. Now I want to explain climate. What is climate? What is climate? Climate can be defined as the average weather condition of a particular area for a given period of time. Average period. So the average weather condition, that is of a particular area for a given period of time. That is what is called climate. So if you want to talk about a climate of a particular area, like where you are presently, we talk about the average weather condition in that place. What is the average weather condition? That one will give us the climate or the climatic condition of that place. So the weather condition of that particular area for a given period of time, we will define the climate of that particular area. So if you are asked to define climate, it can be defined as the average weather condition of a particular area for a given period of time. So that is the climate. Okay. All right. Now let's look at this. Now after climate, we have season. We have seasons. Why do we have seasons? How does it occur? As you know, look at this diagram here. You have the sun at the center. Sun is a very big star. It does not move. Then we have the earth revolving. Earth is revolving around the sun. And I believe you know that it takes 365 days for the earth to complete the revolution, around the sun. So at a particular time, it's going to be at a particular place. Now, earth revolve and also rotates about its axis. Look at this line here. Look at this line. This line is called the axis, Earth's axis. So it rotates. It rotates about its axis, and that's what gives day and night. I'm going to explain that one later. Now, different parts of the surface of the earth have the sun shining on them at different times of the year. Look at this place now. This place I'm touching. This place where the earth is here. This is December. This December. Okay, from December we have the March. From December to March, we have this. We have it here. So March down to June. June to September, September to December, December to March, March to June, June to September, September to December, December to March, March to June, June to September, September to December. Now, at each stage, sun. Number one, the earth is at different distance from the sun. Different distance. They are not at equal distance. Okay. Now, the look at it. It said there is a time when there are shorter days and longer nights during some months in the year, and also shorter nights and longer days during some other months. So in some months, we are going to have shorter days and we are going to have longer nights. And in some months, we are going to have longer nights and shorter days. Why? You see, as a result of each stage of the revolution, as the revolving around the earth, the distance and the position of the earth, and the angle of teeth. Look at the angle here. Look at this angle. Look at this place. This is North Pole. We have the North Pole. So this is North Pole. So the earth is teeth, and it is at this angle. Okay. When it is here, it is tilting away from the North Pole. North Pole is tilting away from the sun. It's tilting away from the sun here. Can you see the tilting away? But when you come to this place, to June here, it is tilting towards the sun. Can you see the North Pole is tilting toward the sun like this? But in this place, it's tilting away. So in this place, we have the winter. This between September and December, we have the winter. Then between the March here and June, we have summer. Okay. Then between the March and June, we have spring. And between September and December, we have autumn. So the position of the earth at the angle of teeth determines the season we are going to get, we are going to have at that particular time. So this is what brought about what is called season, the revolution of the sun, of the earth around the sun. So at every point in time, different part. Look at this place now. Look at the part. If this earth is rotating, look at the part that we experience that. Look at it. Now, look at this place now. The North Pole here is far, very far from the sun. Can you see the South Pole is closer to the sun here than the North Pole? So the weather will change because the amount of the sun that is shining on different parts varies. Okay. Now come to this place. This place. You know, we have the North Pole very close, as in closer than the Southern Pole. Closer than the Southern Pole. And when you come to this place, the North Pole is closer to sun than the South Pole. So this is what is bringing about the variation, and that's what is known as season. At the time we have a summer, we have a winter, then we have autumn, we have spring. So we have summer here. Summer is between March and June and September. Then winter is between September and December. The autumn is between September and March. Then spring is between March and June. So that is how we come about seasons. Okay. It occurs as a sort of the revolution of the earth around the sun. So at two times in a year, okay, look at this, 2 times in a year, for example, there are also some months during which the day and night are equal. Yes, you have some days that some months that day and night are equal. They are equal. So, and this happened because the earth moves in orbit. Yes, the earth moves in orbit around the sun. So the earth tilts in opposite direction twice a year, hence giving rise to 2 seasons, rainy and dry season. You see, it tilts in opposite direction. This a year. Okay, and that is what bring about the season. We have the dry season, we have raining season. So the revolution of the earth around the sun brings about different seasons that we have. Okay, all right, let's continue. Now, day and night. Now I told you that earth is tilting at angle to the vertical. It's at an angle to the vertical. That is the South Pole and North Pole. That is what the earth axis is called. Earth axis. The earth axis is bending like this. It's not vertical. It's not perpendicular to the surface of earth, but it's not vertical, but it's like bending, tilting at a particular angle to vertical, and it's now revolving. Look at the arrow. Look at the arrow here. See the rotation. We call it the rotation of the earth. Earth is rotating. It is rotation that brought about night and day. So it rotates. So at a time, it will turn. Look at this side. Look at the second diagram here. We have the day here. This is the side that is receiving sun ray from the sun here. I mean, sun ray from the sun is reaching this side, this part of the earth, as the earth is rotating. Now, this part of the earth is out of the sunlight. So we have the light. We have the night here. Okay, that's how it's going to be turning everybody. That in Africa, turn part of the African. Like now we are experiencing we are seeing sun here now presently. We are seeing sun now. Very soon it's going to turn us away. Gradually it's turning us away. Then those that are in the dark will now turn. So that is what brought about day and night, and it takes 24 hours to complete the rotation. The rotation takes 24 hours. 24 hours. That's why 24 hours make a day. So it will take Earth 24 hours to rotate about its axis. Okay, that is a complete day. Okay, he said the sun supplies the earth warmth and light. The earth is spherical in shape. Of course, see the shape is spherical. When the earth rotates about its axis around the sun, part of its surface is exposed to sunlight. So the part of it is exposed to sunlight, while the rest remain in darkness. So those that are in the darkness will be experiencing night, while those that are exposed to sun will be experiencing day. We have what is known as day. Now, the part exposed to sunlight experiences day, while the part in the darkness experiences night. So it is very simple. So I don't know it depends on your location on the earth. If your side is exposed to sunlight, then you experience day. If your home side is turned away, if you are experiencing darkness, it means that will be night. It means you are not exposed to the sunlight, so that part will be night. So that's how we have it like that. We have night throughout that 24 hours, and also we have days throughout that 24 hours. As some people will be sleeping, there will always be darkness, because the sun cannot reach every part of the earth at the same time, because earth is spherical. So as it's turning some people away from the sunlight, then others that are in the sunlight before are going into the darkness, and that is night. While those that have been in the darkness will be moved into the sunlight, and they will have their experience what is known as day. Okay, so that is what causes day and night. So what causes day and night is the rotation of the earth about its axis. Thereby, some part of the earth will receive sunlight while some will not. This part that receives sunlight we experience what is known as day, while the part that does not receive sunlight will be in the darkness, and that darkness is known as night. Okay. Now, I think now you should be able to explain the cause of day and night. You should be able to explain climate. You explain the cause of seasons, and why do we have day and night. You should be able to explain that. All right. So having done that, I want us to evaluate ourselves. Let's evaluate ourselves. What is climate? What is climate? You should be able to do that. What is climate? So we talk about the average weather condition of a particular place. Average weather condition of a particular place is what is known as climate. So, number 2, explain how revolution of the earth causes season. Yes, I told you, because as the earth is revolving around the sun, the surface of earth receive different degree of warmth and heat. We receive different because of the distance. Yes, if you are close, if the part that is close, the earth is bending like this, tilting like this. It's not, the axis is not fat, it's not perpendicular like this, it's not standing straight like this, it's tilting. So therefore, it means as like in December, we have the North Pole moving far from the sun. So the South Pole is closer to the sun than the North Pole. So people in that region will have more warmth, while the people in the other side will experience less warmth or coldness. Okay, so that is what brought about those changes. It's a result of the amount of the sun energy that reach, or maybe solar energy that reach, energy from sun that reach the various part of the earth at a particular point, at a particular position of the earth. Along the revolution, the orbit is elliptical. It's elliptical. It's not a perfect circle. The orbit of the earth around the sun is not a perfect circle. Adibi is a perfect circle, and the earth is standing straight like this. The earth axis is standing straight like this. There won't be problem. We'll have probably the same season throughout the year. But because, number 1, the earth is slant like this, then it's also revolving, and the axis is not a perfect circle. At the time, it's going to be far. The earth will be very far from the sun, and at the time, it will be closer. Look at if you go back to that diagram, you will see that in December and June, we have it at a closer to sun than in March and September, because it's elliptical. It's elliptical. So that is why we have the distance from the sun determines the amount of the solar energy, the heat, the light, the warmth that you are going to receive. And that is what causes the variation and brought about seasons, winter, autumn, spring, and summer. I told you from September to December, we have winter. December to March, we have autumn. March to June, we have spring. And June to September, we have summer. We have summer. So please take note of that. Then number 3, give the names of the biggest and the smallest planet. Of course. Of course, you know that. I think we've done that one before. State the 9 planet. No, it's not 9. It's supposed to be 8. It's 8. Sorry. So this one's supposed to be 8. We have 8 planets. We have 8 planets. So the 9th one is called dwarf planet. It's Pluto. It's called dwarf planet. So identify 2 examples of other bodies found in the solar system. Yeah. You should be able to do that. I mentioned asteroid, meteoroid. I mentioned those ones. So you should be able to identify those other bodies in the solar system, apart from the planet. So with this, we have come to the end of the class. But before we round up, I'd like to do the recap of the class. Let's do the recap. So, all right, what we discussed today is description of the early eclipse and climate and seasons. So, and I said at the end of this class, you should be able to explain the eclipse of the sun, and you also explained eclipse of the moon. Eclipse of the sun is known as solar eclipse, while the eclipse of the moon is known as lunar eclipse. Then climate, what is climate? You should be able to explain climate and also the cause of the season. So okay, now we dealt with the eclipse of the sun. You see the diagram here. This is eclipse of the sun. Eclipse of the sun. Here you see the diagram. You see the sun. You see the moon. You see the earth. So it occurs when we have the moon in between the sun and the earth, and we also have the eclipse of the moon. This one also occurs when we have the earth coming in between the sun and the moon, in such a way that the moon will be in the shadow of the earth. Okay, now and also we discussed the climate, and also we say climate is defined as the average weather condition of a particular area for a given period of time. So don't forget that. Don't forget that. Now, also we talk about the seasons. What brought about seasons? The revolution of the earth about the sun gives rise to seasons. So say different part of the earth of the surface of the earth have sun shining on them at different times of the year. Different times of the year. So and that is what brought about seasons. We have the seasons. We have winter here, we have autumn here, we have spring here, and we have summer here. So also we also talk about, yes, this also you see it. So like when we have the December, in September, December, March, June, you see that is the revolution. You see the orbit of the earth. All right. Now we look at also the day and night. Day and night. What causes day and night is a sort of, because earth rotates about it as around the sun. So part of the surface is exposed to sun at a time, while some will not. So the part that is exposed to sunlight is we experience day, while the part that is turned away from the sunlight we experience darkness, and darkness is known as night. I want to believe that you have learned the whole thing, and the objective of lesson has been achieved. And if that is true, I want to tell you to prepare, but as I'm going to send some questions to you to answer. So this is going to be our evaluation. What is climate? Explain that. So this is what I'm going to explain verbally, and I want you to do it verbally in audio, and you send it to me on WhatsApp. The assignment is this: you explain this verbally as in voice note on WhatsApp to me. So it's all right. Till we meet next class, do have a great day or great night wherever you are. All right.